Hey everybody, this is Joe Grisaffi, director of Conjoined, and I'm with
Chuck Norfolk, writer and producer of Conjoined.
So we would like to record our commentary now.
Yes.
So here we are. This is this is behind Bob's studio, and there are our girls and our spectacular bag o' guts.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now this is Michelle Ellen Jones. Casting kind of hinged on her or Kiefer. I don't remember which way it went, but we waited for one to accept before we cast the other.
Right, right.
Was it? I think it was, if we can get Michelle, then we'll have Kiefer.
Right.
Because of the height.
Mm-hmm.
There were two. Kiefer's 5'10", something
Right.
very tall.
Right.
So and a lot of the actresses in town are not quite that tall, so it would have looked a little odd, although
It
at the end
still
of the
does.
day, yeah, but people don't seem to really care.
Right.
Here we have Tom Long, and the webcam girl is Deidre Stevens. I've known Tom for a really long time. He's been in a number of independent films.
He's great.
And I really want to thank Sarah Gaston for pushing me to cast him. I've known him for a long time. I know he's really good. I've just never had a role for him. And Sarah said, you got to cast Tom.
Perfect.
And he nailed it. He's one of those dream actors where you don't really have to give a lot of direction. He does his homework. He gets it right.
Right. He's scary about how much homework he does. Definitely.
Yeah. You've got him on Getting Schooled, so he
Yeah.
probably did a lot of research
Yeah.
there. Again, this is Michelle Ellen Jones. The webcam girl, backing up a bit, was Deidre Stevens.
Yeah.
She was actually a fill-in because the actress we originally cast there had to back out.
One of our big movie stars that couldn't make it in.
Had to back out for personal reasons. So Deidre came in and filled those shoes and did a spectacular job. I think this is her first big role,
Well,
or
first feature, yeah.
feature role. She came in. She did a really great job. There's Kiefer. Hopefully this syncs up once we lay it down. But Stanley's house is entirely on the stage owned by Bob Willems and Champion Entertainment. I presented the idea, the opportunity I was given, I presented it to Chuck and said, we have this amount of money, we have the stage, we have to come up with a concept that we can shoot entirely in this building, whether it doesn't have to be completely on the stage,
Right.
but it has to be contained within the confines of this building, the parking lot, what's available there.
Right. And what were the other criteria? Boobs.
Blood, and I think we didn't set
Horror genre.
Horror, loosely horror, horror in the loosest sense of the word, and a minimal cast.
Right.
We weren't going to make that mistake that we've both made, having 6 or 8 people in the same scene.
Oh my God. Yeah, definitely. Oh well, yeah.
But
In this one.
Now that we know how to handle that, I think it'll be different. But we wanted as few headaches as possible with this one, and we succeeded.
Yeah, we had a dream team. I mean, this cast was awesome. You know, they came to work, knowing what they're doing. Tom would crack. Well, everybody would crack us up with things that they would do, and you really didn't think about when you were writing the script. They just took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, these are actors everyone's going to want to work with because they did their homework, they showed up, they had an idea what they were going to do. We rehearsed. If I wanted them to change it, we changed it, and they made the changes, but often they got it right the first time. The writing was good, and when you have good writing, it allows your actors to make those decisions when it doesn't have to be spelled out on the page, but good writing. It's in the dialogue. It's in the brevity of the scene. They know how to. If a scene's written correctly, a good actor knows what's supposed to be there, what the beats consist of.
Right, and they all look great in their underwear, too, which is a
bonus.
I
I don't know about Tom. That's okay.
I thought he looked great.
Did you?
Yeah, I really did.
The girls did.
Well, yeah, Tom did too.
So this was all. Stanley's entire interior is on stage.
3 walls.
3 walls is all we had. So I think that's two of them right there, and Tom's head is hiding the seam. You're going to see the seam in several of the scenes. But we had these three set pieces to work with.
I love the shot. I love the shot. So great.
You'll see a lot of continuity errors on the walls, and that is because we really just didn't pay much attention, and that was part of our motive. That was part of the game plan, is if we're not going to worry about continuity. We're just going to...
Look at those flowers.
The flowers were there, you know. You notice you never see a door, because we did not have a set piece with a door that matched those walls.
Well, let's talk about our Conjoined Twins and how we made that work.
Okay.
Wow.
Our incredible special effects team put this together so believably, and I think that team actually consists of simply me shopping at Walmart to get matching dresses, and
then
our friend Liz T
Yeah.
sewing the dresses together, and then we wrapped 2 belts around them.
The belt really pulls it together nice. It
does, and Michelle's arm hiding the fact that they're not really conjoined is just great direction.
Well, we were gonna sew them together, but we decided against that because the budget kind of prohibited that.
And I don't think our insurance would have covered that. Yeah.
Oh,
we were actually insured for this one.
Yeah.
Unlike. So, Kiefer that's Kiefer Barlow, the dark-haired actress. Chuck brought her to the table.
Yeah, I had worked with her on a short film that I made, Harvester of Terror 2, and she was just a gamer. She just did whatever it took, so I knew she would just kill this, and she was perfect, I think.
She was, and I thank you very much for bringing her. And she was a dream to work with. I mean, her attitude was so great. She loved being there.
Yeah.
Granted, we did it very quickly, so there wasn't really time for the actors to get... anyone to hate us, because we were in and out of it so fast, which is uncommon for a lot of the independent films we work on.
Watching this, you can just see, we're not even watching it with the sound on.
Right.
And you could tell just by how they're playing it, that they're perfect for the parts, I think.
And Michelle... just great.
Right. Sparkles.
I mean, it's gonna sound like we're gushing, and that's because we are.
Right.
This cast was a dream cast. There was no drama from anybody. Everyone showed up on time. They were prepared. Our days never ran longer than we planned. In fact, a lot of the days were shorter because these guys were so on the ball.
Right. Look at those lovely salad plates. If roll back on Stanley's plate and see the bud of the lettuce still on the plate.
go back to the wide shot, and you'll see that all I gave them was lettuce
and some
carrots and maybe whatever was on the salad platter. Again, here we are, same stage, same walls as the other room. This blue carpet you see in the background,
moves all around.
Moves all around. That was the moving carpet to hide any concrete that you saw. So if you look carefully, you're going to see that rug in different positions, and those are my pillows
and my bed
and Chuck's bed,
and my blanket.
This scene could have gone a whole lot of different directions. Right. I chose to keep it as simple as possible. One of the rules we set for ourselves was limiting the shots, getting only the shots we absolutely have to have, and this read to me as it should be one long shot until the reach over gag.
Right. This looking back at the scene before this, I think that the script when we started writing it was a lot darker than it came out to be, and actually than the movie came out to be. Just with Stanley's motives were a lot darker in the first draft, I think. And now he's kind of just this happy idiot kind of guy.
Yeah, I know, and I know where we had that I think we had that conversation.
Right.
And I'm really happy that I took the comedic angle.
Yeah.
And I'm going to reiterate this because I've told you this before. keep this story concept in mind
For a
serious
right.
version of this, because the concept is just so great.
And it's rife for,
It's not the first conjoined twin horror film, but
first conjoined twin serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basket case, but they're separated.
Right.
Stuck with You as a comedy, and I can't think of the others offhand.
So one thing that always comes up is, what is their job? I mean,
we never explain their job. We never explain what he does.
It's really messy.
That's for you guys to figure out on your own and let your minds wander.
We had something in mind when we wrote the script, but it kind of went out the window, I think, once we got to the final draft, where it's kind of a mystery. Or maybe it was even in the final draft, but you kind of
It was never important.
Right.
It was never important, and I think it's funnier because we don't know what they do.
Right.
This is, we know they work with goop, and
is my cameo coming up?
Yep, right
okay.
here.
Well, don't.
And there's there he is, and there's Chuck. That was one of what I was hoping was going to be a handful of bad edits on purpose. Turned out the movie didn't need it. It needed it there because that was a funny moment. That was a very funny moment. But one of the goals I set out for myself was make the best movie possible, but embrace the mistakes.
Right, like the plant in the background, kind of, you see how it's hiding the
Right.
seam of the wall there.
The walls didn't, flats didn't match up properly, so the plant's placed there to kind of deter it. I made a mistake here. We shot the guys one day and the girls angle in this scene another day, and I forgot which side I put the camera on, so I crossed the line here. You can't see it because the guys here are flipped. Look at the USA in the background. It's backwards. Look at the mole on Tom's nose. It's on the other side now.
And Jake Bird is awesome.
Yeah, that's Jake Bird. He's in Chuck's Getting Schooled. He's in my other film, Lars the Emo Kid.
Haunted
Trailer. Jake is just one of those guys that...
He's got a gift.
He's very funny, and if you want him to be serious, I guarantee you he can be very serious.
He did.
He's an incredibly talented kid, and we hope to see him pursue this professionally.
Yeah.
Because he's got it.
Yeah, he does.
He just needs to know he's got it.
Right.
And
there's the moving cat.
Yep, the cat's there to distract from the seam, which we didn't do a real good job hiding at the bottom. Here's another interesting production note. Jake was not there when we shot
this part. Yeah.
The girls and Tom. Jake had to work. We had to bring him back another day. It worked perfectly. Kiefer, of course, came back. That's Kiefer's hand in the shot, but Kiefer's hand is in the shot on purpose to make it feel like it was all done at the same time.
And from a writing standpoint, my brother Tim Norfolk wrote this scene. I really like it. He's good with the really wacky, not wacky, but just, there's kind of a strangeness to this whole thing, and it kind of brings to light Kiefer's character,
Yeah.
That's crazy. And Jake, of course, is...
Yeah, and every actor brought something special to the table instead of just phoning it in, which a lot of actors could do. When we pitched them the idea, we're going to make this movie, there's a very good chance it's going to turn out bad.
Right.
If it does, we're going to embrace it and make it as bad as possible. But you guys have to take it seriously.
Oh, they totally did. Everyone did.
There's a chance, looking back, it worked out beautifully, but if I were to work with a different set of actors that weren't this skilled, I may not tell them they're in a bad movie.
Right.
But these guys knew. They were game, and they took it, they did what I said. They took it seriously.
Right.
And I don't think it would have worked as well if they were constantly winking to the camera.
Right.
They really have to buy into this relationship.
Exactly. Play it totally straight for laughs.
Right. The laughs will come if you don't think it's funny.
What is that? Oh, that's a little... I was wondering what was on the... There's the rug. Move to the other side of the bed
you
now.
can... We don't know how many rooms are in the house, but it's always the same wall design, and that yet there's the rug in the top right hand and the right side.
Yeah.
Yep, there he goes. And of course the old timeless clapper gag, which I couldn't resist.
Gorgeous.
So what's next here? Tom goes to sleep, and back to the webcam.
Right.
These.
I think the way we wrote this was that Courtney, the webcam girl, is kind of like, what's the movie with Tom Hanks with the volleyball?
Castaway.
Castaway. So she's kind of his sounding board for like that. She's his volleyball.
Right.
In this.
He's paying $2.99 a minute.
Yes.
To get her advice. He's never met her, but they're obviously friends. He goes back to her site at pamperedpeckers.com. You should visit.
Right.
It's a free site.
Yeah.
It's a free site in reality. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The movie was written specifically for our needs, which were be able to shoot it as fast as possible. We intended to have extended dialogue scenes,
right,
so we could shoot one long shot of Tom talking at the computer,
right,
and get through some of it as quickly as possible. We did have the bigger scenes like later on in the alley, yeah, that are real movie scenes.
Right.
But given the limitations that we put on ourselves,
mm-hmm,
these limitations we put on ourselves to see if we could meet the challenge, and Chuck and Tim wrote these scenes with that in mind. So we know they're very talky. Right. We know they go on for a long time, right, but that was out of design.
Right.
So we could get through it as quickly as possible.
There's still, I think there's just still some, it's not to the point where they're kind of discussing what's happening too often.
No,
there's action in what they're saying,
Right. You can't help but have a little exposition, but the dialogue moves it forward, and they learn things about each other, right, and about the what's happening.
And there's Derek.
Yep, there's our co-producer Derek Huey sitting on the pot.
Yeah.
Being a level 74 wizard.
Oh yeah.
And I took his shot out of a later crime scene. He was supposed to be the same character, wearing that police officer uniform, so he's the off-camera cop in a later crime scene. This is Troy Parker, another actor friend of ours, who, again, we just called him up and asked. We did not have any auditions for this film.
Right. We said, who can play a douchebag?
And Troy Parker was it was like we simultaneously,
Troy
Parker. He's douchey.
Yeah, totally.
No, he's great. Troy's great. So he came in. He got the gag.
Right.
He's only been doing this a couple of years, but he got it.
Right.
He got the gag.
Right. He's hungry for work. He really wants to work, and he comes in ready too. He did. I thought he did a great job. Really funny.
He really did. And here, this scene right here, another production point is the script that Chuck and Tim wrote has these characters showing up at the front door, knocking on the door, Stanley opening the door.
What front door?
Exactly. We didn't rewrite it. We knew we didn't have a door. We thought about using the door at the studio, the stage door, but it didn't match. So I said, you know what? Let's just make the gag. The people are there.
Right.
Stanley, just let them in. It doesn't affect the dialogue very much.
Right.
I think we took out hello.
Right.
And, the physical action of knocking on the door, but the rest of it should have been taken place at an open door with Stanley, right, having opened the door. A lot of the people that have reviewed it and watched it get it.
Right.
And it's kind of funny.
Right.
Some have criticized us that the scenes go on too long, but you know what? That was a conscious decision.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the script, I believe, was 68 pages.
Right.
And we were told by our executive producer, who is also the distributor of the film, that he has to have a 75-minute film.
Right.
So part of the uncomfortable silence is buying time to reach that 75-minute mark. Well, we ended up with a 76-minute movie. Yes. We could have cut it out. We could have had long credit sequence. But
Texas Thunder Light.
You will see that in Haunted Trailer.
The Good
Soon.
Friend.
The Good Friend. Was it in anything else? It's gonna be in other films.
It's in several other.
That's gonna be our
Doll Factory.
Doll Factory.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the go-to beer for any films that we are directly involved with, Chuck and myself.
Right.
And I think some others. Oh, there's a haunted trailer poster. That's me
In a dress.
in a dress on the poster.
Yeah, sexy.
Yes.
I think this is hilarious. Watch how far she goes to get to him. It's awesome. It's like a mile, you know. So
Now,
this is awesome.
again, stretching for time.
Right.
Which I know we're not nearly the level of Family Guy, but that's my reference
Right.
point is
Okay.
play a gag until it's not funny,
Right.
then let it become funny again because it's gone on for
Well,
so
the
long.
music really. I mean, once you added that music,
Yeah.
it just really hit.
Now-
hit.
We knew we were going to use public domain and royalty-free music. We did not have a budget for a composer, and I decided to go with pieces that the audience would most likely know,
Right.
because that makes it funnier. Because you instantly, to me at
Yeah.
least, I instantly go to the old Warner Brothers cartoons
Right.
when I hear
Sure.
music, and it just makes it funny.
Right. So there's, there's our love sign. There's our cat. Beer sign moved directly to another wall.
Yes,
It's
big
awesome.
continuity error there.
So
But I don't care. If it's a bigger budget film, of course I'll care. But this was just get through it as fast as possible.
I love how this is where Stanley figures out that she's a killer.
Yeah.
She's just like, too bad.
I just love Michelle's look right here. Wait, she delivers this line.
doesn't even-
We'll clean it up.
And she kind of loves it. Loves that that she's kind of giving Stanley some pain. I think.
Yeah.
We'll clean it up.
Stanley is the driving force for this film.
Right.
If he had just grown a pair of balls
Right.
and said, "Get the hell out of here," well, we wouldn't have a movie.
Well, but he was in love. So
This girl is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And he has never had someone
come on.
that attractive.
Is he really going to get a chick like that?
No.
Not at all.
No.
So yeah, he has to suck it up and kind of deal with it. There they go, scooting off.
This is our first night shot.
Right.
Our first night
There
scene.
they go. This is the big dramatic scene.
I made it. It was really important to me to have the girls backlit
Right.
because I
Yeah.
see a lot of
It looks
independent
awesome.
films.
Yeah.
A lot of independent films don't take the time to do that
It looks pretty.
at night.
Yeah.
And and especially with Kiefer's black hair, it would just be a floating face.
Right.
We shot the film on a Canon T2i.
Yeah.
Right now, the T5i is out,
Right.
but I stuck with my old camera, and I just love this camera.
Yeah, I think it looks really nice.
And we're watching it on like a 22-inch TV here, and
From
it looks
like
really,
Yeah, from 1975, and
Yeah.
it's great.
it looks really good, and it looks good on my bigger TV too.
I love this. I love this huge chunk of exposition, that character exposition.
But that's the thing. These guys, Tom, Michelle,
Right,
and
right,
Kiefer,
right.
they can do exposition, and you
Right.
you accept it.
Right.
A lesser actor would the movie would come to a screeching halt.
the terrible life that that they had before, and the torture that they've had to endure. Kiefer just. It's hilarious because she's playing it like so seriously, Oh God. So
Yeah, if they had played it for nyak nyak here,
Yeah.
it just wouldn't work. You feel so sorry for
Right.
this guy because he's so torn. He's got this beautiful woman, and up
You
there
don't-
we don't see her feet.
Yeah, there you go. You don't feel sorry for him. You think he's an idiot. But it's
Yeah,
funny.
you think he's an idiot, but you
But
want
you love it.
you want him
Yeah,
to win. You
yeah,
want
you
you
do.
want it to work out, but just how the hell does this work out?
Keep the family together. There's those guys that would do anything to keep the family together. He's like that times a million. Why would you? You know?
I'm so.
Oh my goodness, he's nuts.
Just they're like, look at that. I just love the way they react, and
I love the group hug at the end of this.
yeah. And there's Michelle. Michelle, you really buy the fact that Michelle is in love with this guy. You don't know, and I'm not spoiling anything here because the scene's already passed.
Right.
But you don't know if she's pulling a scam or not.
Right.
You really don't want to believe it.
Right.
And I don't think she is. I never believed she was.
No,
I believe she was sincerely in love with this guy. Granted, it doesn't take much other than showing her some affection. Everything's
all better now, though. Yeah. Right here, see, Kiefer. I mean, you know. Both the girls are happy. Here comes the group hug.
Now, a question for you.
Yeah.
Most of the murders are triggered by insults.
Yeah, calling freak.
Freak,
usually.
exactly.
Yeah.
The exception being webcam girl. Let's get to that when it comes up.
Yeah, okay.
That's the exception. Okay, this is Sarah Gaston, another phenomenal actress in the Houston area.
Yeah.
She is reprising her role of Detective Waters.
Yeah. I got such a kick out of writing these scenes for her, and then she just like not killed it.
Yeah, Detective Waters and later Detective Sutherland are characters from one of my earlier films called Dead of Night with a K. We want to spin them off into a couple of other horror films, and this was the first opportunity to branch them out. And I'm glad Chuck went along with that.
I was excited when he told me that we were going to add this, and just it was a blast to write.
And we are completely aware this plot point goes nowhere, exactly. And that's part of the fun of it.
Right.
So if you're going to criticize us for that,
welcome.
Please do, because we meant to.
Okay.
Completely meant to. Stefan, the kid with the black hair.
Look at him. He is so awesome. So sleazy.
Our actor that we cast didn't show up.
Right. Who was that?
I don't want to say. Just
say it and you can beep it out.
No.
I don't remember.
No,
who it was.
I won't tell you. We're still friends. It's no big deal.
I don't know who it was.
Another director in town.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. But Stefan was he's one of our co-producers, associate producers. He was helping. He was on the crew.
Right.
And we knew he had some acting in his background, so we asked him to step in. So
good-looking guy.
Good-looking guy. He fit the bill. He looks like he could be a alternate alt-rock musician.
Yeah.
And he had no idea when he showed up this day that he was going to be put in the scene.
Right.
He actually had to call work to stay a little longer to help us not to ruin the day.
Yeah, he was in the award-winning scene.
Yes, this scene coming up is an award-winning kill scene. We won an award at the Atlanta Horror Quest Film Festival. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Please support that festival.
Right
Now it's completely free to submit and attend. You can't beat that.
Right,
so go check out Horror Quest, thehorrorquest.com. He stepped in. He did beautifully. And he's such a trooper to do this scene.
Oh, yeah. Coming up.
Yeah.
But look, Kiefer, none of this was written in the script. It's kind of, the words are, but the way that they play it is just awesome.
And again, getting extra seconds out, milking the scene. A joke from my first film, Laughing Boy, was Grisaffi's Dairy, where we milk every shot.
Now I wonder what's happening here.
There you go. I think it's called Cunning Linguins.
No, that's
Bobbing for Apples.
Foul-latio, really. So, yeah, both these guys getting blown by their girls next to each other.
And the girls were troopers again.
Yeah.
This could be awkward, but look at Michelle going in the background there. And, we know, big continuity error with the blood here. We don't have any spurting blood. I think by that time we had already ruined the pumps. So we just the blood shouldn't have been on his face so soon. Yes, we know this.
Oh, what's that?
That was a penis.
Oh, winner.
Thank you, Christy Bowl, for loaning us the penis prop.
Yeah, from the movie Sway. I think Josh Vargas's.
I think so.
Maybe.
And if you listen carefully to the laughter. You can hear me laughing. So I didn't bother to ADR that or cut it out.
And cut to the moon.
And cut to the moon.
If you need to, this is
every indie horror film should cut to the moon.
This is some more great stuff that Tim wrote. He kills on just the really weird
this was great.
Character stuff.
This is my personal car too, if you care to know.
Yeah.
Again, the most difficult scenes to light were these night scenes,
and
but
the cars too. Yeah.
and in the car, but it wasn't that difficult because we've been doing this for years, and we even taught Derek Huey had never worked on a feature film before, and he came out, and I wish he was here to participate in this commentary too, because he was he's a hero. He came out there. He was there every day. For the entire duration of each shoot day. The first day we spent time teaching him how to work with the C-stand and how to properly light 2- and 3-point lighting and why the backlight and all this.
How to pick up food.
How to pick up food, which was important.
He was great.
But he came out as a PA. We taught him how to key grip. We taught him how to light. Yes, getting food was important, but we rewarded him with a co-producer credit because he was there every day.
Right.
And he didn't know that reward. The most exciting thing was
he didn't know.
He didn't know that was the plan to give him that title.
Right.
But he deserved it because he went above and beyond. And one of the key things to getting this thing done as quickly as possible was having the next scene ready to go when we finished the scene.
Exactly.
And the night stuff was a good example of that. While we were shooting inside, Derek was out prepping, dragging lights out, setting them up, getting them in the general area. So when we got out there was very little to do. Tweak the lights a little bit, rehearse the scene once or twice, and then shoot it.
Right.
So Derek, thank you.
Yes.
Sarah again.
Well, this is like she just stepped into the same exact shot.
Yeah,
right?
it's a different crime scene technically, but we didn't bother to change the scene. And there's the same. We just turned the arm around.
I mean, George Romero, Eat Your Heart Out.
Yeah, that's a $12 arm.
And it shows. Every dime shows on the screen.
That's
in this
wonderful.
Movie. Okay.
Wonderful. We added the sound effects, of course. Couldn't really do much about the wind noise, but we didn't do very much in the world of sound mixing anyway. Here's Deidre.
Yeah.
New wig. Again, awkward silence to buy time, which helped us get to our goal of 75 minutes.
Yep.
This was, like we said earlier, this was her first feature, and she was just such a trooper.
Yep.
I think we may have spoiled her.
Nah, she loves it. So
I know she loves it, but when she gets on other sets, maybe even our future sets, she's going to say, it wasn't any, you
liars.
Guys, you liars, y'all shot Conjoined really fast. Exactly. Why is this taking so long? She was so great too. Again, no drama. There were no divas, male or female, on this set.
Here comes my wife and your date.
And they scoot in. I love the scoot in their pajamas. They got caught off guard. But yummy.
Elisa's always, Lisa, yeah, she is always ready to do it.
Yeah, she's a horn dog.
Yes.
And we had shot, with the end of the movie, you'll see an outtake of Tom going at all the construction.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
While we were shooting that dialogue there was construction on the roof, so we thought we'd account for that. We didn't need to because you couldn't hear it after all. But okay, important scene here. It was written for Cunnilingus.
Yes.
And we just didn't do it.
Right.
Because it was too awkward. It would have
been fantastic.
Yes, actually, it would have been fantastic, but the setups would have been too difficult, and we wanted to do it as fast as possible. The kissing was the girl's idea.
Well, hello.
Hi there. Waka waka. That was their idea to kiss. It wasn't important to me to go there, but they decided to do it. They dedicated. Whoa. They committed to it.
Yes, they did.
And it's wonderful.
Yes, it is. And Tom, I love that's Stanley.
There we go.
He wants to.
You can see the wall actually move when he hits it. And
he's knocked out. Here we go. Blacked
Okay, here
out.
we go.
Oh.
What I think is funny here is Michelle magically avoided getting any blood on her,
Of course.
and that was by choice.
All right.
And I think if I recall correctly, she had to go teach afterwards, and the blood turns her hair pink.
Oh, okay.
So we respected that and didn't do it. And it's funny that
Right.
the blood's so contained.
What? And what the fuck?
That's going to be a running gag in our films too, probably.
This is. I love this.
Obviously, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but we shot this and the severed head with the green screen, and
Looks
Nick Rios did the
Yeah.
effects for us. Thank
Great
you,
job.
Nick. Again, we're back at the studio. This is Bob's kitchen
Right.
at his production studio. I think we used every room available to us.
This is supposed to be their work, but look in the back by the sink. There's like booze bottles sitting back there. See that?
I do see that.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, again, we don't know. We don't have any idea what they do for a living.
Exactly. So it's something really messy. That.
And this scene coming up, this car scene right here, this was the first scene we shot when we started production.
It was.
And
what was going on inside when
there was another film shooting inside, another film called The Costume Shop with Stephen Baldwin
Yeah.
shooting there, and we're doing this little
Awesome movie.
awesome schlocky horror film out back. They had to come out and ask us to be quiet. But we kept shooting.
We don't care. We're artists.
You're not our first AD. You're
That's
their
right.
first AD. We
No,
don't have to listen to you,
you
Molly.
don't own me, Molly Vernon.
Some of the art.
This is
Yeah. the banana was not scripted. That was
right.
a play off the line. The graffiti back there on the wall is from another film that Bob's company produced.
He directed.
He directed it, Renfield the Undead. So we got this. This was about a 5-page scene, and I think it only took us 2 to 2.5 hours to shoot. Again, because the guys were prepared.
Right.
They had the scene memorized. They had their comic beats ready. We had to make just a couple of adjustments to the dialogue, the timing,
Right.
to get it exactly the way we wanted it. But they nailed it.
This is another funny one by Tim. He wrote this.
Yeah. Oh, the beer koozie
The
is just such a great,
It's just
such a great line.
That's classic Tim Norfolk.
If we do any promotional swag for this, we'll probably
Beer
do the
koozie
beer
you can
koozie.
fuck?
Yeah, you can fuck it. But yeah, here's just Jake's sense of comedy.
Yeah.
Is just so.
It's restrained though.
Yeah.
Really. He's like. Whoa.
He will go over the top like he did in Haunted Trailer if that's what it calls for, but he understands the subtlety of it. I'm going to scream for a second and see if I can get my dog to be quiet. Zoe? Thank you. Okay, we're recording this at my house.
Yeah.
Not a professional Zoe, stop it. Again, can't say enough about Jake Bird's comic ability. Tom Long, for that matter, as well. But they just got it.
Right.
These guys had never met before.
Right.
This was the first day on set.
Right. And it's like they're best friends.
And
you believe
you
it.
totally believe that they're best friends. A post-production note here. We only shot one shot of Tom and one shot of Jake. We didn't do coverage. We didn't push in. But in Final Cut Pro 7, I reframed a lot. So it looked cheated. And so it looks like we did a lot of coverage, but it also hid a lot of the continuity
Well, that was
errors.
kind of the plan, though, right?
It was.
Okay.
It was. But like I said, if I could hide it, I would.
Sure.
If I couldn't, we'd embrace it. But Jake had his hat. It's hard to see his hat dirties up the frame, which I really like.
Yeah.
But it was really hard to edit
To match.
Mm-hmm. So I went real close on Tom's face to get the brim of the hat out, and I went same thing for Jake. I went in close if the banana came up into the frame at the wrong time, because this was such a good scene. Some of that stuff actually distracted from it.
This is kind of the this is really the end of the first act. This is when they decide to what they decide to do.
Right.
And I think it's I just love the scene, how it's kind of, he needs, Stanley needs permission to do what he wants to do. And of course, his friend is of course going to, be that guy because he's mad.
And looking at Tom's shot, I kind of want you to feel like something's going to fill that space. You know, is someone going to walk up and hear the conversation and then they can't go through with it?
Right.
Because that's just that's a horror gag, but I didn't do it.
Right.
But that's what I want you to think.
And hamburgers and I'm going to eat my banana first. That was a great choice, Joe.
Yeah,
eat the banana first and then eat your burger.
Yeah. Switch them simultaneously.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Our audio peaked a little bit here. We didn't bother to ADR it. We just, again, we wanted to get through production fast, but we also wanted to get through post-production fast.
Yeah.
I took longer than I planned, but I really started to like this, and I'm glad I did take the time. But eventually, you got to pull the plug and say enough's enough. So yeah, there are some audio problems, but I don't think they're terrible.
No.
It's probably not even worth bringing up here. Sarah Gaston, she will make a point to tell you that those are her stuffed animals on the desk. That was her character choice because of the graphic violence and morbidity that her character deals with on a daily basis. She needs items in her office to
keep it girly,
to lighten things up, to offer a ray of sunshine on an otherwise cloudy day.
Right. She's dead serious, though. It's so hilarious.
Very Joe Friday. Yeah. Very much the choice we made for the character. And
the script's written like some, hard-boiled crap, know. So it's man, I love this.
If it was done 60 years ago, it'd be a guy,
right,
in a hat,
right.
Joe Friday.
That was kind of what we wanted to do. Well,
but it was written for Sarah, and we knew it was a dead-end plot. And that's okay, because you know what? A lot of crimes go unsolved.
Yes.
Yes.
Especially with conjoined twins. I know there's a rash of those. Serial killing, conjoined twins, they go unsolved. That's why we don't know about them.
That's right.
And we brought it to life here.
And, I'm waiting for a conjoined twin case to show up on Cold Case.
It could. I mean, there could be hundreds of them. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
Another dinner scene. These are actually fun to shoot because
this is
we got to play with the comedy timing of this stuff, and again, broccoli and carrots.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She needs more. Kiefer just really ate this up.
She did.
Really did.
She just.
All of them did. But I mean, there's just situations where she is just really funny without. I love the David Lynch thing you went for here with
flickering
the
lights.
Flickering.
Yeah. But no, Kiefer, for never having done a feature, she's going to work a lot.
Yeah.
Because the camera loves her. The camera loves everyone in this cast, actually. Mm-hmm. But she knows how to work the camera like a trained actor.
Right.
Now, I don't know if she has any acting training,
right.
formal training in her background, but she gets working with the camera. She knows how to work it.
Right.
And, actors I've known for 20 years still don't know how to do that.
Right. I love how, we just, during this, we just would use items that we had. Like the hammer, I don't think that was written. It's just there's a hammer.
Yeah, there's, Chuck and Tim put a lot of items in the script that we never found.
We can just, there's a hammer.
There's a hammer. When we get to the scene later, the operation, we'll talk about that specific point.
Right.
But yeah, the hammer was there. The hammer was in the studio. We had those pills. I don't remember where the pills came from. Maybe Courtney brought those, but it was a vitamin or something.
Right.
But yeah, we only gave ourselves 3 or 4 days of pre-production. Once.
3 or 4, really?
Yeah. Well, I had to go shopping.
Oh, true.
And we went in and we looked at that includes just visiting the stage and seeing what we had access to and making a list. And if we didn't, there's a lot of items we wanted that we didn't get, and we just supplemented with whatever was there.
Out better, funnier.
Yeah, it came out much funnier. If we had used items that were written in the script, it would have been more of a straight horror film.
Did you slow this down?
We shot her falling to her plate in. I shot it in slow motion.
Okay.
I think I shot it at 60 frames a second and converted it to 24 frames a second. So this right here is slow motion. And this is such a good scene.
Yeah.
I mean, if they think of the actors trying to be funny here, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't be funny.
This is serious. He's really trying to save this relationship. And look at her. Look at her leaned over because she's stuck. She's
Right.
attached to her.
I mean, this is how they would act if this was really happening.
If this were a real situation, this conversation would probably take place. He's not telling her what his plan is, but
well.
Oh gosh, and we talk about props. I'm really glad we didn't get some of that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like the medical supplies.
Yeah.
And the shovel and stuff. Not that was hard to find.
Right.
We just didn't bother to
Right.
find it because when we started shooting, we kind of took the approach. You guys are probably familiar with the film race type events, and you have to get it shot. You have to find a solution to a problem quickly.
Right, and luckily there was a lot of stuff laying around.
That was a huge benefit to shooting in the studio. Is if we didn't have what we needed, there was something within arm's reach that worked.
Right.
It may have been a far-fetched thing, but you know what? That worked for us. And again, when we wrap up the scene, another intentional milking for time bit. Which
how do we get a take of that without a laugh in it?
I think we did two. And
yeah.
It was hard not to laugh with some of this. Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
No, and who cares?
Right.
That's just we didn't care. We don't care if people give us bad reviews. Luckily, a lot of the reviews we've gotten so far have been really, really good. So I think people get it.
I think it's actually his erection holding him back.
Well,
if you look at it like that.
If you could look at it like that. To me, it was just
it's his erection.
Like at a restaurant when a couple tries to reach and kiss.
It's his erection.
It's his erection.
That's
okay. That was.
It is. So funny though. Michelle she is totally in love. And the hand coming back.
Yeah. Okay, this right here.
Yes.
Is they're setting up for the operation. I want to give a big shout out to the band Towhead from Orange County, California. Their website is towhead.net, TOEHEAD.net. This is the fourth film of mine that I've directed that they've contributed music to. This one we only use one song. Dead of Night we use like 6 or 7, but their music, Weston's music, seems to fit what I do to a T. Some of the beats in the song, I cut the scene first, then I laid the song down, and the beats just hit.
Wow.
A lot of the beats hit without me having to readjust for the music.
Look at our little computer.
That's a kid's toy that my neighbors threw out, and we put it there, we never even used it.
What's laying around in the studio?
Yeah,
what is that even?
We don't even know.
It's wrong to laugh at your own stuff, though. I've heard from people.
You know what? It's funny.
It is.
We
funny.
We made a funny movie.
That's right.
If I'm laughing at my own stuff, I think that's good.
Yeah, I love this.
Filmmakers that say you shouldn't laugh at your own stuff, you know what?
They're just mad.
They're mad because their stuff's not funny.
Oh,
No, if I keep going back to it and it's funny to me,
yeah,
I think we nailed it. I really think I don't consider myself a comedian by any means. But I think I get comic timing and what the audiences will find funny.
Well, and you made this the way you wanted to.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And what's funny to you.
Right. And I think what's funny to me is funny to a lot of other people.
Right.
So they've set up the operation table. And again, Zoe, that's my dog again. They're stage whispering.
Yeah. But too loud.
Too loud.
Right. Yeah.
And she suspects nothing.
Well, why?
Do we see the rug in this one? There's not too much to talk about production-wise because it was all on the same stage.
Right.
We didn't go up. Bob has a lighting grid there. We didn't move anything
on
the grid.
On.
We turned the lights on. We moved our stuff where the light hit. We adjusted for the light. We didn't adjust the light for us.
Right.
So everything you see is the set being built around the lighting that was there. Pushed into the light.
Yeah.
With the exception of the occasional Chinese lantern, which is a lifesaver. Again, cut to the moon.
Right.
Every indie horror film needs to cut to the moon.
You have to.
You have to, or you're not.
Forget about
horrific.
It. Just shut it off. I was terrified with that moonshot that you just put in there.
So we built our sets around where the light hit. And again, it was very easy to do.
Jake wasn't here that day either,
No,
was he?
no. Jake, we shot Jake's angle another day.
Whose hand is this?
This is Jake. We reshot.
Jake,
This is
okay.
I think this is the only thing we reshot.
Okay.
Because Derek's hand didn't match Jake's at all. But because it was so easy.
This is when you started getting serious about it, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
You did. As the production went by,
I did.
You said, "Man, this is pretty good."
But you know what? It's hard after taking film so seriously and working so hard. It's hard to let that go.
Right.
I really did. We really did want to make a bad B movie with a lot of errors, but it's hard. It's hard to let that go and just not care.
Right.
And even from day one, I cared. I just went fast. But as we realized...
Right, but I could see that
you could see
after
the progression.
a certain point, you started watching the footage and stuff. Like, I could tell that you...
Holy cow.
This is pretty good.
It's hard to fake not knowing what you're doing.
I mean, it's not great, but it's very entertaining.
The truth is we know what we made.
Right.
We're not calling this art. It's 76 minutes of fun.
Right.
And if... we really do care about the films we make. And I think it shows here, too, even though we're just being silly.
Right.
And, again, Sarah Gaston, I think we shot her out in 2 days.
Right.
She never, with the exception of one little scene with Derek, she never interacted with anyone. She's hollering, that's me off camera originally.
Is that Pampered Peckers?
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote that specifically because I wanted to hear her yell that because I thought it was hilarious.
It's very funny.
Real serious.
It's very funny. That's Dan Braverman off camera. He is her partner in Dead of Night. Dan actually has worked on some pretty big films. He was a big zombie Al in Dylan Dog Dead of Night. Here we go with the operation. We shot the girls for the most part on another day, with the exception of Tom here with the girls. Jake wasn't there. We shot all the insert shots of the girls were shot on one day.
Right.
Later we came back and shot the guys. So that's why you never see a tool make contact with flesh.
You know what these suits remind me of is everything you wanted to know about sex but were afraid to ask. Woody Allen.
That's funny, now that you mention it. Now that you mention it. They're just $4 paint suits from Home Depot.
So awesome.
This is the perfect example of not getting the props that were written in the script.
Right.
This was written to have IVs, proper scalpel, all proper medical gear. And we looked. We didn't look real hard.
Right.
We didn't find it. So we thought, okay, just bring tools.
X-Acto knife?
Yeah.
Works.
X-Acto knife, hedge clippers. It's so much funnier without it being taken, without the real tools. This scene would not be nearly as funny if we had the proper props as written. One thing that you and I, Chuck, debated was the need for graphic gore here.
Right.
We were on the fence about, Chuck, you wanted it.
Yeah.
You wanted it badly. Yeah. Close-ups of the X-Acto knife cutting into flesh. We had the stuff to do it. We had Christy Bowl ready to go.
Right.
And once I cut the scene together without it,
we didn't need it.
I just thought, I don't think we need it. I showed it to Christy, and Christy, who is brilliant, and was gung-ho to do it. She goes, Joe, you don't need it. This scene is really good.
Yeah, it leaves a lot of stuff to your imagination.
And I took that opportunity to play with the sound here. I think the sound sells it. I mean, I would have done the same thing with the sound if we saw the stuff.
Right.
But not seeing it lets your imagination go a little wilder.
Right.
I got to do so much more with the sound because you don't have to sync it up with anything.
Right.
Except the motion of his arm. Again, Jake's and Tom's timing here. Chuck, you were off camera working the pump. The guys had no idea
when it was going to spray.
We ran it. We'd used it all on Tom. By the time we got over to do Jake's shot, the pump was clogged. So that's why Jake only gets a little bit right there. But Tom had no idea when you were going to pull the trigger.
Dude, there's
and he just
how much? I mean, like a gallon, 2 gallons.
I think it was 2 containers full.
Yeah.
But
and that's not including that.
right.
Yeah.
Tom never let it faze him.
Yeah, this was a blast.
This scene was so much fun. Yes, it's 8 minutes long, but again, I think a lot of people get it. I think it even ends twice. If you sit back and watch it, you think it's done.
Oh yeah.
You think it's done. Then we step it up a bit and make it even more absurd.
Right.
This right now, with the X-Acto knife, he really could be trying to do that. There's still a little bit of reality in there if you really want to push it. But this right here, the scene completely starts. No, not that. That.
Yeah. Cauterizing iron.
Cauterizing iron. Yeah, the script was written with the cauterizing iron, and we didn't know where to get one.
We had iron.
So we got this, and it's funnier.
Right. And I don't know whether I don't think he said the line about a German Shepherd.
He did.
Already?
I don't know if it's said it yet, but I added the smoke. That was a pretty easy effect to add.
But I think when we originally wrote the script, they were like veterinarians assistants.
That's what it was, yes.
And that line was in there, and it just kicks ass now because he mentions it. This sure isn't like a German Shepherd, and then Jake's like, "What?"
And I think we added the reaction. That wasn't. It was just a throwaway line. But now it's
like, what the hell has this guy been doing? I think this is
look at Tom's goggles fogging up. How do you operate with the goggles fogged up like that? And again, he had no idea.
My hedge trimmers.
You wink at the camera on this, and it's not funny anymore.
Right.
These guys really
are doing it.
And my mistake. This is completely my mistake. We shot the girls separately. We should have been shaking the table, but. So what?
Yeah,
I know I screwed that up.
This is like the grand finale of a fireworks display. I was just hitting it up his nose, everything.
And it didn't faze him at all. Yeah. He played right along with it. Other actors might go, I can't do this.
Right.
But Tom, never broke character.
Right. Oh.
We're just going to sit here and laugh.
Yeah,
for the
I'm
next
sorry.
few minutes.
My bad.
It's okay.
And the blood's much thicker going on the chicks than on Tom.
And if you look at the scene carefully and where the girls are in comparison to where he's cutting, where the hell is he cutting?
Yeah.
Are they conjoined at the knee?
What is something?
It? Yeah.
Something down there.
Yeah.
But okay. Yes.
And what is this? They're doing the operation in these filthy suits that they've worn before.
Exactly.
The same gloves. This is actually the attic in Bob's studio.
The smoke. That's nice.
The fact, as simple as that effect was, it looks so real. And I bought that smoke effect package from, I forget the website, or I'd tell you, but it was like $7.
Nice.
For all of these smoke effects. I know I could have probably found them online for free if I wanted to, but I want to give somebody some money.
Right.
This is the attic at Bob's place, and that's just painters, plastic.
Look how these guys are playing. They just cut some people.
He really wants this woman to survive the night. And there, there was no cleanup. We just
rolled up the tarps.
Rolled up the tarps and threw them out. There was no cleanup. It was so great. We're going to do this again. Every movie gets a attic tarp scene.
And the throw up.
And the throw up is peanuts and Coca-Cola.
Gross.
Chewed up and swished around in Tom's mouth.
Wonderful.
And I think I made him do that twice.
That's good eating.
Okay, this may actually be my favorite scene in the film.
This was probably the funnest scene I've ever written.
Yeah, and I think you can tell from the blocking and the shots that this is a scene that I really took time with. I really cared about the scene because I knew it was going to be funny. I wanted it to be really good.
Right.
And I think I think if you compare it to other stuff I've done, I also operated the camera.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to make a camera reel to try to sell myself as a DP,
Yeah.
this would be the scene.
Yeah.
Because I really, really am proud of this. The
Yeah,
way, the way we lit it, the way we blocked it, the way I shot it.
No, it came. If you were to put the words on the screen, it's pretty much.
Did it pretty much the way you envisioned it when you wrote it?
Yeah.
King.
Awesome. King Kong.
Speaking of King Kong, we actually really wanted to make that movie.
Yeah.
We're throwing around ideas. I don't
will.
know. I don't know if we can actually use the name King Kong.
Whatever.
That may be Universal's property. I don't know if that's public domain. But yeah, the simulated sex here is pretty fake.
Yeah,
but no one, who cares?
You, at this point, hopefully at this point, you're going, what in the hell is going on with this guy? You know, okay, so we have some necrophilia here. You know, talking to the corpse.
And you know what? Another thing about Jake, this is the third role I've known him to do. Haunted Trailer, this, Lars the Emo Kid. Each
he's
role
all in.
He's all in. He commits, and every role is completely different.
Right.
He has incredible range.
Yeah. And I mean, like Haunted Trailer, he was super over the top. You know, okay, let's party.
Okay, and we this was, I think, your idea. There was a couple of shots that were going to lead up to the sparks, but we just thought we didn't need it.
Right.
It would it's funnier to just have them appear instead of showing in the
in
the script. You have them go to the back seat, get the jumper cables, put them on, and
we don't need that build up. We didn't need it.
It's funnier to just show up and say party time, and you know what's going to happen here, and that's okay.
Right.
We're not breaking any new ground here. It's we want to call this Frankensteining. We hope to start an internet fad like planking. And show us your pictures of you Frankensteining. So go find some corpses and shock them back. Just shock them.
Shock them back to life.
You don't have to shock them back to life. We just want to see you shocking them and having sex with them. So send us your necrophilia pictures.
Right. So if you go to pamperedpeckers.com,
you can
go to the
contact
website and
us
then
there.
Contact us and then send your, shocking a corpse during sex pictures.
And you know what? That can be your wife or girlfriend painted up to be like a corpse. So just send us the pictures.
Whatever.
If you can dig one up, though,
great.
Please.
I love this.
Okay.
You did a great job on this.
I'm really happy with that. I took a cue from another film.
Right.
With the speed up the frame rate, cuts a couple of frames out. This is
incredible.
Really happy with this shot. That's Jake's actual car back there. We hid with black tape. We changed.
How did you keep my hand from getting in the shot, throwing that blood on her?
You never went into the frame.
Yeah,
I didn't reframe that.
Wow.
That's the
I did
shot.
a great job.
You did a great job. And the sound effects that I added, really sell it. Kiefer just loves to go crazy.
Right.
She plays.
Yeah.
She plays crazy great.
Yeah.
Again, another scene that goes on longer than it should, and I think it becomes funnier after it becomes not funny.
Right.
If you reach a point where it's not funny, and then it becomes
stop.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't do it. Oh, they did it. Okay, that is kind of funny. And I think we could have made it even longer.
Right.
But I thought that was enough. You do get the joke.
Right.
Hopefully everyone watching appreciates the stretched gags here.
I love the what's that, Chinese?
What do you call that thing? Yeah, the
wall, whatever it is.
Folding wall.
Oh yeah, Tom.
Tom, this is if we have to redo the DVD artwork, we're going to take every angle where Tom looks like Emilio Estevez and put that on the box, because there are shots where he looks like Emilio Estevez, I think.
And this is your big money shot.
This was my big money shot. I'm up on a big rolling ladder for this. That's that's the fancy studio shot, except for your idea to put the crane at the end.
Oh yeah.
That was big money.
Look at the production value when we look down on that. Unbelievable, Joe.
Unbelievable. And I think actually I wish that I had taken a picture of it, because I'm actually not on the ladder. I walked up to the ladder, clamped the camera to the rail, hit record
And then came back
and
down.
walked down to let the camera, the
Settle.
movement settle. If I had stayed up there, I would have been laughing and shaking. So no, the camera was
He's
operating
done
on its
laughing,
own.
right? Now?
I think now. No.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Ah! He did it. He laughed so hard he turned red. That
I think he pooped.
I think
little.
he pooped.
He
I
may
think
have
Tom pooped. He didn't tell us, but we know
Well,
he
we
pooped.
could kind of. There was
Michelle, you could look carefully,
look
see
at
the
her
grimace
face.
on her
Ooh,
face.
she's like, he pooped.
No, I cut it out because she's supposed to be unconscious. But yeah, you could tell that he pooped because she grimaced at the smell of poop.
Right.
Emilio Estevez, see right there.
There he is.
There he is.
Awesome. And of course, here
Okay, the one take of the melon didn't quite work, and I know exactly what happened.
that looks great. I love that.
Oh, that's one of my favorite shots
Yeah.
in the film is Kiefer right there.
Right.
But I had her drive over the middle of the melon.
And then threw a little blood on.
The digital blood, put digital blood on in the shot, but had I told her to aim a little more to the right of the melon, it would have splattered to the camera.
So rewind that and just do it in slow motion. There's a nice, delicious chunk of watermelon behind the hat.
And I don't care if it looks like a melon. That's the joke. I've seen.
Get it?
Get it? Seen lots of little horror films that did that same type of gag, but tried to take it really seriously.
Right. No, it's not. I love this too. This is so funny right here.
And this was
Little music cue joke.
Yeah.
And no visual.
An afterthought.
Right.
The zoom in to the candy dispenser was
And
an
then-
afterthought, and then dum dum dum. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is.
Now things start to get even
Now the
crazier.
movie starts to get good. If you've made it through this far, okay, now you're going to see, okay, it's getting good.
There's the shadow. We almost didn't do that shot.
We
I
almost
think
didn't do that
I
shot.
think
We
that
played
was
with
good
it a
one.
couple of times. We had her. We saw her. We did the shadow. I love the shadow. It's so cheesy.
Of course.
Had to do
the
a little.
sister.
Yeah, had to do a little reframing here because you can see the top. You can see
The wall.
The wall ends. So I had to reframe to be a little tighter on Kiefer there. You can see the fork in her hair. That was a really nice touch
Yeah.
that I really like.
Yeah.
Sound is not so great here, but again, for the money we spent, it's better than it deserves to be.
Kiefer she really tore this up.
Yeah.
Too. And what's hilarious is the sister's just still asleep.
Yeah. Another production note here. All of the interior scenes were lit the same.
Right.
I went back and with a simple color corrector, turned them blue.
For night. Mm-hmm.
I think it turned out okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a colorist. It could be better, but it's fine
Right.
the way it is. This is her actually talking to me. I'm laying down, operating the camera. I really like the way this turned out, this whole bit.
Yeah.
Everything in the attic just turned out great. There are continuity errors. There are lighting inconsistencies. I don't care.
I just love the stuff in her hair.
Yeah.
And the blood on her mouth. And stuff is funny.
Continuity error with the blood on her face. There should
Right.
have been more blood.
Right.
So what? No one has pointed that out. Now all of you that are listening to this commentary are going to put on your IMDb reviews mentioning all the continuity errors.
Oh, yeah.
Please do.
Yeah, drinking game.
Yeah, come up,
Drinking
make
game.
a conjoined drinking game for us. Go to IMDb and rate us good or bad. We don't care. Just rate us.
Right.
There was a kind of dangerous shot here where Kiefer got a little carried away with the knife.
And that was a
And-
sharp machete.
Yeah.
For real.
She slammed it into the table, and then we all kind of freaked out. But yeah, no weapons made contact with anybody.
I actually did the makeup on this part, on her.
Yes, the leaves.
Fantastic,
and the stuff.
huh?
Yeah.
And their eye makeup.
A lot of us did multiple jobs.
Yeah.
You know, but I took the route of not crediting everyone individually for every job they did.
Right.
Instead, and I think other films should take this lead, and some probably already do it. Nobody got paid up front on this. We're all hoping if it makes money, we're going to get paid. we worked really hard. Everybody worked hard. So everybody that worked on set every day, I think that was just me and Chuck because the actors weren't there every day. So we're producers. Like I said, Derek, well, every day plus getting the thing ready.
Yeah.
If you worked on the set every day, you got a co-producer credit, which Derek got. And partial days, at least 3, you get associate producer. And that's what Stefan got.
Right.
You saw the little digital blood that I added.
This stuff this came out really good. Where's she stabbing him? I wonder.
Actually, I don't think he was there.
Right.
She's stabbing him in the junk.
Oh, okay.
Which the end
Yeah.
could go a lot of different ways. Let the audience fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what happened to him, why he's so unhappy.
Right.
Maybe it's because now he's got this beautiful woman now, and his penis doesn't work.
I think when I wrote it or whatever, I thought that maybe it's just he realizes all the shit that he's gone through to sit there and watch TV. And there's Kiefer's boobs. There's our boobs. Wonderful.
Now, I know we said we didn't care about continuity, but this scene,
back on.
Again, I thought the scene was really good, and I tried to make it good. If I couldn't make it work, then we'd accept the errors. But I could make it work. We lost a couple of lines. We lost the bit where her dress falls off, but I kept it in there.
Right.
So you'll see in the ending credits where we were going with this scene. And this is a big finale. Again,
I had fun writing this one too.
The same hand that was in all the crime scenes is now Stanley's hand. What do we have here? This could have.
I love this.
Okay, now her sheet is back on. I could have framed that out, but I chose not to because that's kind of funny to me. This is a good example of what was supposed to have been. He's supposed to pick up a shovel, and whack her with a shovel.
Right.
We didn't bother to bring a shovel to set, and I think the hammer, again,
there it is. Same thing.
Worked out better.
Yeah.
As cheesy as the kill is, which is absolutely on purpose.
Yeah.
It's funnier.
Yeah.
That jump cut that's coming up was I actually think that was Kiefer's idea.
Right.
We were on the same wavelength, and I just said, let's figure out a way to make this work. And this idea was thrown out, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But I just love how Elisa buys into what her sister's saying and totally doesn't pay attention to anything else.
I know. I mean,
and now everything's great.
And not to mention that Stanley's hand bones are mush, and he's able to pick up the hammer.
He's been stabbed in the leg.
He's been stabbed in the junk. His hand bones are crushed, and he's still able to get a firm enough grasp to drive the end of the hammer into her head.
Right.
Like same body parts as before, different crime scene though. Same thing. Murders have ended.
There it is. And
this wasn't scripted. Dan Braverman's appearance was added because we went there. They're going to continue to be partners, but we had to put him in there. The file he brings is hopefully setting up one of my next films called Slugger, which they will team up together in. There's Dan. And this weapon in the photo actually does exist. I don't think it's functional because physics
won't kill anybody?
It'll break so easily. But it makes a great visual. And hopefully you'll see Dan and Sarah soon in Slugger. So here's the finale. Chuck at the last minute suggested we throw in that crane shot. I'm glad he did because it really adds to it. Added the laugh track later. We were going to add a sound clip of the haunted trailer, but it didn't need it. I don't think there would have been enough time to even get the joke.
This is just something, the ending is something I took from like Neighbors, if you've ever seen that movie with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Kind of, the guy stuck in suburban hell.
Right. Here's another There was one of Tom's outtakes. This is a shot of Michelle that wasn't used in the film. And then Kiefer's bit right here.
Where I'm pulling.
Chuck's off screen pulling the robe down.
It doesn't quite work, but boop, there
I
we
just
go.
thought that was the funniest thing.
It was. And Jake.
Jake's outtake's not so great, but we needed to do that for him because he was a main player. And then Sarah has an outtake right here. It's just another take from her line, adding a lot of... We added a lot of extra sex to your script,
Right.
and I thought it was funny.
It was.
And here's the credit roll. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it that you took the time to listen to us, and hope you enjoyed our commentary.
Hope you liked the movie.
Yes, I'm tickled. It tickles me to have run the credits backwards. I know other films have done that. The first I saw that done was in Roger Corman's Carnosaur.
Ah.
And right at the end, you get a glimpse of Chuck and Derek.
Oh boy. Yeah. Beautiful. And you'll see why I stay behind the camera.
So there's Chuck, and here comes Derek.
I'm wearing that same shirt right now.
You are wearing that
we're doing
same
this
shirt
commentary.
right now. Gang, thank you so much for listening, and look for Haunted Trailer to see. That's Chuck's movie. Look for my film Dead of Night and Lars the Emo Kid. And thank you for your support. Bye.
Bye.